Hey guys, I'm gonna make I'm missing some Mexican food right now, which sounds like I always do, but I don't as often as I make it seem. I found this at Aldi store. It's very, very cheap and it's easy and low mess. And see, it's only $2.49 a pound, and this is a pork shoulder roast. Great for carnitas. So I'm gonna throw this in. It says it takes 3 hours, but because of a convection oven, I believe it only took about 2.5 hours. Well, I say only, but it took 2.5 hours for it to cook last time. Yes, this is the second time buying it. It was really, really delicious. So nice and easy. And not quick, but it is easy. I'm gonna use this Las Palmas enchilada sauce, and it looks like it has 2 grams of sugars per quarter cup. So I'm gonna see how much of that sauce I'm gonna use. Most likely not too much, just so it's not high in sugars. And then I'm gonna use this flatbread as my tortilla. Alright, so this is how the carnitas came out. I left it a little bit under just because it's going to go back in the oven when I put the enchiladas together. So I just didn't want it to dry out completely. So I'm going to go ahead and chop this up so that it's ready to go into the, not the tortilla, oh my gosh, no tortillas, into the flatbread that I showed you earlier, the Fit and Active. So I will show you how I put those together. Alright, so I pulled out the bad boy cleaver, 2.5 pounds of stainless steel. Alright, I'm actually feeling sick today, so not a whole lot of energy, but I got a spurt for dinner. Luckily, I had already prepped my breakfast yesterday. Eggs in. I had a couple slices of bacon ready to go in my fridge, which I am learning that prepping is pretty crucial to be able to stick to your diet when you're hungry, and so you can eat and have something ready to go. So this is going to be nice to have as well. So I'm going to make these probably a smaller batch of enchiladas. I keep calling them enchiladas, but I don't know if they're going to be like a casserole type or if I'm going to actually roll it up with the cheese in the middle, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to roll it up because that sounds really good. So I'm going to continue doing that, chopping all this meat up, and I will come back. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to give you guys a quick tip. Cleavers, traditionally you do this motion, right? But I don't want to do that because I just cleaned my counters and I'm trying to keep them clean for as long as possible. So I am just placing my hand on top of the cleaver so I don't get my fingers all up in the mix. If you're a chef, then you feel more comfortable having your hands on the cutting board and near the knife. But anyway, this is the safest way to chop, is you just place your hand on top and your fingers out of the way, and then you can just do the chopping motion like this. Yeah, with the sound effect and all. Okay, so my hand is seriously tired at this point. Since it's so much meat, I'll show you guys the whole cutting board in a second, but if you guys don't have an Aldi near you and don't use this method, I'm sure you can find some other like ready-made meat that you can just cook in a bag like it came, but you can also pick up those rotisserie chickens, and if you have a Sam's Club, they're only like $5, I believe, so super cheap. This again was like just under $8, or about $8, and which came up to $2.50 a pound, so really cheap. I will show you how much meat this is. It's a massive amount. So check that out. Let's see all that meat? That's crazy amount. So obviously I'm not going to use all of that for the enchiladas, but I'm going to put it in a bowl, put the juices back in so it stays nice and juicy. And it already comes pre-seasoned, of course, so you don't even have to mess with it. It's so convenient. I cut the flatbreads in half. I'm gonna place it in the hot olive oil. You just want to coat it. And the nice thing about these is that they're thicker than tortillas would be. So hopefully they won't rip apart here. Then you just stick it into the sauce. And I think I'm gonna use the spoon to get it out so I don't. Just strain it a little bit here. And then you want to have your station set up here. So meat, shredded cheese, and that is about it. Alright, so unfold. Again, I didn't want to do it with the tongs so that it wouldn't rip apart. So, and if I had two hands, this would probably be a lot easier. So I've used these flatbreads for pizza, and it's 3.5 carbs total or net carbs for each half of a flatbread. So even if you have 2 enchiladas, you're only having 7 carbs, which is fantastic. All right, so for a nice and delicious and comforting dinner. So go ahead, you're like the taco man here, or taco girl. Yeah, that's probably even a little too much meat. But I like mine really cheesy. I'm gonna go ahead and bring all of this cheese over here. And I like putting the cheese, well, I think most people do anyway, but cheese in the center. Cheese in the center. They're overfilled. And alright, this one has a little bit less meat in it, so it should be easier, but it did roll up there. What else? And then I will just throw this in the oven just to melt the cheese for about 20 to 25 minutes, probably at about 350, and it should be good to go. And that looks. You don't want to skimp on the cheese, obviously, but there are 5 enchiladas in there, and my husband is super excited about them. We haven't had enchiladas in probably a year. So again, these are keto friendly because I'm only planning on having one. That's 3.5 net carbs, probably a little more with, say, call it 4.5 with the cheese on it, because I know Colby cheese has one carb per, I don't know, I'll have to look at the packaging again, or my Fitness Pal. But look how much sauce is left. I mean, obviously I didn't put a lot. All I used the sauce for was to dip the flatbread into, and then I also coated the bottom of the tray, which you saw, with about 3 spoonfuls, which was this spoon, it's not even a ladle, of that sauce. So that's all you're using, just for the flavoring and the color, of course. So most of it is just the cheese, the flatbread, the filling flatbread, and the protein, the carnitas. And I still have this much of the meat left over, which is fantastic, because I can have that ready to go for something else. Seriously, I could sell this tray right here. Look how awesome. Alright, this looks awesome, guys. Nice and cheesy, keto friendly. It's going to be more than filling, guys. Let's see. So I'm going to squirt this. Oh, totally missed. Okay. There you go. Not as pretty. Or down to the bottom, so that's why it was kind of hard to squirt and be accurate there. But I'm probably gonna throw some cilantro on top and a little bit of hot sauce, and we will be ready to go. But look at that, guys. So awesome and amazing. Mexican food on keto. Yeah.
So Mike's texting me. Did you just record me in my... Hey, these are friggin' amazing. Don't get the boobies, dude.